What is your biggest expense in your budget? Do you think it might be food? Do you think it might be gas? Do you think it might be clothes? Well, for the average American last year in 2021, the biggest line item expense on their budget was taxes. Americans had to give more money to the American government than they spent on necessities like food, energy, and clothing. And here's the kicker. It wasn't just a little bit bigger than any one of those categories. Americans spent more on taxes than on all of those categories combined. The American government is a giant tumor on the backs of middle-class Americans, and it is draining them of their resources. Ready? Let's dive in. It really blows my mind how much some people love paying taxes and defend the tax system. Really, if I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, what I think it is they just love if other people pay taxes. They don't really want to pay taxes themselves. But what most people don't understand is that is the net result. That's the end result, is that they'll get hit with the tax bill themselves. There's just not enough money at the top 1% to pay for everything that the government wants to pay for. They've got an insatiable appetite for sucking money out of the economy. There's not enough to suck out of the top, so they're going to come for your wallets. And it's gotten to the point where taxes are more expensive than anything else that Americans have to pay for. If you take a look at this article from Reason.com, they discuss the recent BLS report that showed consumer spending data from last year. Overall, taxes accounted for about 25% of average consumer spending. Now, this report looked at consumer units, basically household units. So family units, 2 parents and kids, a couple living together, or you've got 2 friends who are roommates that share expenses. Those were all considered consumer units like households. And here are the numbers. If you add up food, healthcare, education, and apparel, Americans on average spent $16,721.42. Compare this with the total that they spent on taxes at $16,729.73. This includes federal income tax, state and local taxes, property taxes, Social Security deductions, and other taxes. Keep in mind, this was also offset by the stimulus payment of $2,500. So for the average American, adding up food, healthcare, energy, and apparel, you still paid more than that combined in taxes. Now, let me ask you a question about taxes. Is it worth it? What are you getting for those taxes? Really, think about this. What do you use on a daily basis that makes it worth more than all of your major budget line items combined? You're not getting free water. You're not getting free energy. You're not getting free housing. You're not getting free education. You're not getting free healthcare. You're not getting free food. What are you getting for what you're paying? The most common answer that will be offered when asked that question is, well, what about all the roads? How are you going to get from point A to point B? Oh, you think that private companies don't have the ability to lay asphalt on real estate, on land? No. Okay, only the government can do that? Well, they're doing a great job. Let me ask you this. How long has that pothole been there on that road leading up to your house? Real great service you're getting for paying more than all of your other budget line items combined. Now you might say, okay, well, what about the military protecting you? And what about enforcing laws? What about local police officers and fire departments? And you think all of that should cost more than all of your other budget line items combined. You just don't know where the money goes. None of that stuff costs anywhere near that. But I'll give you that. Let's look at the military for a moment. Let's look at the government and enforcing laws, the judicial system, politicians. Let me ask you this. How did we have a functioning government before 1913? For the entire history of our country, we had a functioning government, we had a military, we had the enforcement of laws. The income tax didn't start until 1913. So for all those masochists who love spending the most money out of all of your categories, sending that off to the government and letting the government waste it, line politicians' pockets, line the pockets of corrupt corporations, dump the money into the Pentagon, funding endless wars, bombing innocent people in the Middle East. How about you just do that yourself voluntarily and we can get rid of the taxes for everybody else? Because I don't particularly enjoy what I'm getting for that money. Now, full disclosure, I do have to be honest, I personally don't pay a lot in taxes. When you run your own business and you study the tax code, you realize very little of the tax code is dedicated to telling people what they owe, how much they're gonna have to pay. The rest of it, 99% of it, is a bunch of credits and a bunch of deductions. So study the tax code and realize, hey, this entire thing is just a bunch of rules that Congress has given us to say, hey, if you do these things, you owe less in taxes. So design your life that way. Do those things, and then they'll reward you by not making you pay as much in taxes. And that's the most patriotic thing that anybody can do, is pay as little as they possibly can in taxes, because you are doing the things that our voted leaders have said are good for the country. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to take advantage of the rewards. If you want a good place to get started with understanding the tax code, I really like Tax-Free Wealth by Tom Wheelwright. Link is in the description below. As always, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.